My feelings are dead. I feel no remorse.
Yo.
It's a terrible thing.
Psychopaths. They are in a small number across the globe, yet you might have stumbled upon one without realizing. But what is a psychopath? Let me illuminate you on the origins of the word. The word psychopath is of Greek origin, psyche and pathos, which translates as the illness of mind. General traits of psychopathy include an egocentric and antisocial personality marked by a lack of remorse for one's actions, an absence of empathy for others, and often criminal tendencies. Now, psychopaths play a huge role in our pop culture. Ranging from cannibalistic serial killer Hannibal Lecter to Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. Other notable individuals being Michael Myers, Patrick Bates, Scream, so on and so forth. Although psychopaths do seem to be an actual danger to a society, there is more than meets the eye about them. For starters, not all psychopaths hide in the dark with a knife to end your life. There are a lot of high-functioning psychopaths leading successful careers, surrounded by families living good lives. And here I will give you an example of a high-functioning psychopath. Professor Stephen Westoby. In his early life, Stephen has been a shy, unassuming, backstreet kid. However, one day was the day that changed Stephen's life forever. In 1968, Stephen and his friends were confronted by a team of hefty farmers. During the fight, he took a boot to the head. At the hospital he was told that he has a battered, swollen brain. Later a psychologist would inform Stephen that the boot in his frontal lobe damaged the part of brain responsible for critical reasoning, risk avoidance, lack of inhibition, irritability and occasional aggression. At first he was scared, but the psychologist told him that most high achievers are psychopaths, particularly surgeons. One question remains. Can psychopaths empathize? The answer is no. However, a study, co-authored by Joshua Buchholz, Associate Professor of Psychology at Harvard, and Ariel Baskin-Summers, Assistant Professor of Psychology and of Psychiatry at Yale University, offers a new model of the disorder that could shed important light on the decision-making process of psychopaths. The study was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Buchholz and Baskin-Summers were able to show that while psychopaths have normal, or even enhanced, emotional responses in situations that typically elicit regret, they have trouble extracting information from the environment that would indicate that an action they are about to take will result in the experience of regret. There are two components to regret, Buchholz explained. There is retrospective regret, which is how we usually think about regret, the emotional experience after you learn you could have received a better outcome if you had made a different choice. But we also use signals from our environment to make predictions about which actions will or won't result in regret. What differentiated psychopaths from other people was their inability to use these prospective regret signals, to use information about the choices they were given to anticipate how much regret they were going to experience, and adjust their decision-making accordingly. It's almost like a blindness to future regret, he added. When something happens, they feel regret, but what they can't do is look forward and use information that would tell them they're going to feel regret to guide their decision-making. Baskin-Summers said this form of regret does not imply remorse for actions that harmed other people, an absence that is a hallmark of psychopaths. Regret is self-focused, whereas remorse involves another, she said. So, how could a psychopath be learned to empathize? It's simple. Given that psychopaths are self-centered, one would need to find a way to assure them that actions performed in the service of others actually helps him or her on the long term. If a psychopath has been raised in a religious family, it is quite possible to have him or her develop a pseudo-empathy based on the fact they would go to hell in the afterlife if other people are treated like shit. But don't forget that psychopaths are people too, and each individual is different from the other. Each psychopath requires different approaches to make them empathize because each of them have different beliefs about the world they live in and the education they receive during their upbringing.